landscape of the WWE Tag Team divisions is in a weird place right now in both the men's and the women's side of things. On the one hand, on the men's side, you have so many great tag teams ready to go. However, they don't have any titles to be able to contend with because for some reason the titles are being contended in the main event by non-tag teams. Meanwhile, on the women's side, you have active tag team champions in a tag team division, but it's a tag team division that doesn't exist. So today we're going to be looking at the tag teams of the WWE across the men's and the women's side, and even looking at a couple NXT teams as well, and we're going to be ranking them from Hall of Fame all the way down to trash. Hey, as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I'm confident you're going to fall in love with this channel because we upload daily wrestling content. All right, let's jump into it. All right, so let's start off with the newcomers to the WWE main roster, that being the Creed brothers, who were recently called up from NXT. When it comes to their physical talent, they are incredible. Of course, they're going to take a while to find their footing on the main roster. They're going to take a while to find their character and to find their place within the fans, because in NXT, they were one of the most over tag team acts in a very long time. Again, the skill is there. We just need to give them time to be able to find their identity. That's all I ask of people, because I'm a fan of NXT. I've been watching NXT on a regular basis, and the Creed brothers were one of the best things about NXT. So I'm going to be putting the Creed brothers right now into the good category. They still have so much more room to grow. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years we're talking about them being a Hall of Fame caliber team. At the very least, I see them moving into great very, very soon. Again, this is one of the teams that it just makes me sad that they don't have a tag team set of titles to actually contend for. So they're just sort of relegated to contending for nothing right now. Let's look at Tegan Knox and Natalya. Yes, I counted them as a tag team because there are no other tag teams in the women's tag team division. That's the problem with the women's tag team division right now. They have one, two, maybe like legitimate tag teams, and then the rest of the people that they put against the tag champions are just a hodgepodge of women. Then they say, okay, you're a team for tonight. So I don't know. Look, as of the making of this video, it's fair to say that Tegan Knox and Natalya are a team. It's a weird dynamic too, because they met when Natalya was a heel trying to, I don't know, little bro Tegan Knox, and now they're friends. It's weird. Okay, either way, trash. And it's not even like their fault. Like, why would they be any better than trash when they're just literally two single stars that they've been told, you're a tag team now, for no rhyme or reason aside from we just want to give you TV time both at the same time. That's the reason why you're a tag team. That doesn't make for compelling, storytelling. That doesn't make for a compelling reason for fans to want to back them. So trash. And I'm going to be harsh on the men here as well. Let's do Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso, Team Yeet, the American Yeetmare. I don't know what their team name would be. I don't know. Main Event Nightmare. That could be a cool tag team name. But this is they are part of the problem right now in the men's tag team division. They are two individuals that they're not a tag team. They're not a tag team. They're not going to go down in the annals of history as a wrestling tag team. And yet here they are hogging the limelight of the tag team titles. They are the only ones that have gotten a chance at the tag titles over the last several months. And they're just a tag team as a placeholder until their main individual stories finally take place. Once Jay goes towards to face off Jimmy, and once Cody Rhodes goes off to face off against Roman Reigns, this tag team will be like it never happened before. I'm putting it into the trash bin. I'm done with this, man. It's cool one-offs to see these superpowers come together, but when they overextend their stay, people start to get tired and sick of them, and they are doing more damage to the tag team division than they're doing good. So they're going into the trash bin because by next month, they're probably not even going to be a tag team. Let's go ahead and grab the newly reformed DIY and Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. And in NXT, they were probably the most over act of all time. I don't even think that that's an exaggeration. They were hugely over as a tag team, and they were hugely over when they were feuding against one another. So sadly, what I'm noticing right now is just Triple H trying to rekindle the magic that isn't there anymore. And obviously I was there for the entirety of DIY's run. I was there for the fantastic best 2 out of 3 falls against the Revival in NXT TakeOver Toronto, basically front row. I love DIY, but this rekindling, trying to make the magic happen again, trying to make lightning strike twice, isn't working. At the very least, it's not yet. The only people that care about DIY are the people like me that know what they're capable of. But today's wrestling fans don't make any noise or seem to get emotionally invested in anything related to DIY at the moment. So I'm going to put them into the meh category because they are newly reformed. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that there is the opportunity to make things better. As of right now, though, as of the making of this video, things are looking bleak for DIY. Hey, this video is brought to you by everyone that's supporting over on Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. If you want even more wrestling content, more than you're already getting here on this channel for free, head on over to patreon.com/SantiZap, where you're going to get the podcast, Wrestling is Cool, 3 days early. You're also going to get every single review of Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, wrestling Q&As, and more. So again, if you're just looking for more wrestling content, go ahead and check out patreon.com/SantiZap. A couple of extra bucks will net you so much more content, and it allows me to do this on a full-time basis by helping keep the lights on and helping keep this mic on. Okay. Done. Back to the video. I told you we had a couple of NXT teams, and let's grab Chase University, that being Duke Hudson and Andre Chase. And in terms of like a popular act in NXT, they're one of the most popular things right now in NXT, and it's been a nice organic growth because they started off as being just like super hokey and lame, and now people are legitimately interested in not just their matches, but the stories that they are involved in. And they are a true one-to-one from beginning to end tag team. So I gotta give them props for sticking to their guns, sticking to the hokiness of Chase University and making it work, and even winning NXT tag titles and being part of one of the more interesting side plots in NXT with the whole scandal of Chase University. So I'm gonna put Chase University into the good category. Next, let's grab A-Town Down Under, yeah? We're gonna grab Austin Theory and Grayson Walla Walla Bing Bong, yeah? I'm sorry to like the 5 Australian people that watch me. It's just a joke. You guys can take a joke, all right? You guys can make fun of me for like everything. That's fine. But yes, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, you know what? They're kind of working for me. I know that it's kind of a situation where it is just 2 guys coming together, but I do think that they are forming a better tag team identity than somebody like a Tegan Knox and Natalya or Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes. And well, we don't know if they're going to be a proper tag team yet because they don't have any tag titles to vie for. But right now they are like buddy buddies, super chummy with one another. And anytime one is there, you can expect the other one to show up. So I'm going to consider them a tag team really at this point. Still, they're just like DIY, kind of in their infancy, and it'd be nice to see them want to go after something big, after some gold, after some tag titles, if they weren't, you know, stuck in the same rotation of the 5 main eventers over on Monday Night Raw. So for the meantime, we're going to have to put them into the meh category. All right, next up, let's grab the 2 NPCs of the LWO, Joaquin Phoenix and Cruz del Toro. That's, I think, the first time that I've been able to remember their names without having to look them up. Trash. Next up, let's grab the fantastic duo from Friday Night SmackDown. Yes, boy, Pretty Deadly, hashtag Elton Strong. A fantastic tag team that, again, is suffering from the fact that they don't really have a proper division to be a part of. They don't have titles to be able to go after. So it makes it difficult to be able to book them as a proper tag team that is moving up in the ranks still. They are one of the better traditional tag teams in the WWE right now, at the very least on the main roster. I think that they're fantastic. They're widely charismatic. They're hilarious. They're backstage and off-site vignettes about the whole hashtag Elton Strong had me clamoring to see more of them. I really am over on Pretty Deadly. I think they're fantastic. I think the one thing that they're missing is a set of tag titles to be able to feud over, because once those tag titles actually return back to the tag team division, we could see a set of great matches with the likes of the New Day, with the Creed brothers, with, who knows, maybe like Imperium. That'd be a hilarious storyline. DIY, man, like there's so many options here. I am gonna put Pretty Deadly into the great category. That might be a little bit premature, but the amount of time that we've had them on the main roster, they've absolutely crushed it so far. Next up, let's look at Indus Share, the tag team led by Jinder Mahal, and I'm not here to hinder them. I will never hinder anything related to Jinder. I will say a couple of good things about them. I think that they have a really cool presence about them. I think that there's a really cool Indian swag that I've never seen before in the WWE. Usually when it comes to characters that come from cultural places like India, they really overplay the fact that they're Indian and they like put it in your face that they're Indian. But with these guys, they just look like two awesome badass motherfuckers that just happen to be from India, and I like that. And I do like the fact that there is still an underlying identity of their Indian roots. I think that's super cool. The only problem is that we need to see more of them. I don't know if maybe they're trying to protect them. Maybe they're not as good in the ring as they should be at this moment in their careers. But the fact that they're managed by a former WWE champion, it does speak volumes. I know that people have Jinder Mahal lower in the totem pole in terms of WWE champions, but that's still a former WWE champion that is being the mouthpiece for these guys. I think that they are eventually going to do big things in the WWE. I kind of have them right now teetering in the same category as AlbaFireNadon, where like I know they could be good, but they're not showing them to us. So just to be safe now, I am going to put Indus-Sher into the meh category. I mean, I just spoke about them. AlbaFireNadon, again, in the same boat as Indus-Sher in that they have a really awesome presence about them. I've seen them as a tag team compete in NXT and they were fantastic. We saw a little bit of them in the early days of their call-up where they for some reason lost their NXT tag titles to Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, who would go on to do nothing with those titles. But to me, they're the beacon of hope of the women's tag team division. They are the ones that I'm waiting for to come in and properly give that women's tag team division a proper identity, a true sense of care, you know, because right now it doesn't exist. Just again, because of their lack of presence on TV, I have to put them conservatively into meh, but I am a big fan of them. I really think that they're going to do big things in the tag team division, and individually, they're both awesome as well. Meh, just to be conservative, but easily once they come back and start to have regular matches and regular appearances, I could see me putting them into the good category, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm in the great category with them. Let's grab another NXT tag team. This time, it's Out the Mud. I don't know why I said it like that. I mean, they kind of say it like that. So it's Out the Mud. They're led by Scripps. I mean, like, they're still brand new. Like, these guys are green as shit. They're green as grass. So they still have a long way to go through NXT. Like, they're not going to be in the main roster anytime soon. So it'd be a little bit mean to put them into the trash category. Frankly, now that I'm thinking about it, probably a little bit unfair to put them into this rating system, considering we've seen so little of them. But hey, you know what? NXT is seeing value in them. They're having them feud with the likes of Butch and Ridge the Fridge. So clearly they see a future in these guys. Again, I'm just going to have to go meh because there's just not too much to go off of here. Look, I'm just trying to pat the stats out of the women's tag team division because, like I said, there's just not that much to go off of. I decided to make Indy Hartwell and Candace LeRae a tag team. Why not? They were a tag team in NXT. They were a fun tag team in NXT. But in WWE, I can't really tell, like, on the main roster whether or not they're a tag team or not. They come out all the time together. They've had tag matches every now and again. I don't know, dude. I mean, like, if I was doing their NXT versions, I'd probably put them in the good category, but their main roster counterparts, this tag team goes into the trash category. Look, I'm realizing out of all of the tier videos that I've done, this is probably the one that I've been the most harsh and the most negative on, but that's the problem with the tag team division. I'm trying to find the good here, fellas. I really, truly am. So let's go into a stretch of good here, okay? We got the New Day. The New Day will always be a Hall of Fame tag team, okay? You don't need me to explain that one to you. I know right now they're not exactly torching the game. They're not holding the titles. Who the hell is, because no other tag team is, but they will and forever be the center of the tag team division. The tag team division will always run through the New Day, and that still seems to be the case with Monday Night Raw. They still seem to be part of that conversation with the likes of Alpha Academy, the Creed brothers. They're part of that, but again, they don't have any titles to go after. But how can I not put them into the Hall of Fame? Of course. Let's grab the current, as of the making of this video, WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, the legendary team of Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I mean, like, what can I say, fellas? Look, at the very least, there's more of a justification for them to be a tag team than Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso. So I'm not going to be putting them into the trash category for that, because at the very least, they've been part of a stable and been part of a group for a very, very long time. So they've got that going for them. But again, this is not a team that needs the tag titles. This is just not a team that needs to be representing the tag team division. And if they're going to represent the tag team division, have some goddamn matches in the tag team division. I'm going to put them into the meh category, just above trash. They have no reason to be in anywhere near the tag titles, frankly. They should be dropping them, splitting them, and giving all of these other tag teams, the tag teams that are floundering because of the lack of gold to go after in their division, an opportunity to actually shine. Next up, let's grab the Good Brothers. And oh my God, dude, like, the WWE can't figure them out. The WWE can't figure out how to make the Good Brothers work. Everywhere else has been able to. Impact was able to. New Japan was able to make the Good Brothers cool. But dude, WWE does not know what to do with these guys. So unfortunately, like, I'm only rating the WWE version of them because everything they've done outside of the WWE to me is phenomenal. But the way that they're booked in the WWE does not put them anywhere near above trash, unfortunately. All right, next up, let's do the Street Profits, or as many people are calling them, the Suit Profits. I'm going to put them into, I'm between good and great at the moment. I'm going to put them into the great category. I think that we still need to give them time in terms of like what they're doing right now, their current gimmick, you know, the less fun version of them. But when they're in the ring, dude, they cook. They have fantastic matches. We just need to allow this new personality to be able to properly blossom. But, you know, everything that they've done in the tag team division leading up to this really is helping impact my decision. They're borderline Hall of Fame as a tag team. Borderline Hall of Fame as a tag team. All I ask right now with this new gimmick is that we give it time. We give this entire group time to be able to rise and develop. And if anything, Triple H is very good at being patient, at allowing these groups to be able to find their footing after a couple of months of being formed and kind of treading water. So I do see big things for them, but this is still the Street Profits. Like, that's a great tag team. Let's go to the Viking Raiders, who are barely a tag team right now. I'm going to put them into the good category, but the injury to Eric has really propelled Ivar to the top of the mid card as a singles competitor. I've been saying this and screaming it from the top of the mountains alongside my co-host of Wrestling is Cool. They need to drop the Viking gimmick. Like, I'm not saying that they don't need to be burly, hairy, angry dudes, but like the whole Viking thing, especially when Ivar sounds like he could do my taxes, you know, he doesn't really exactly give Ragnarok vibes. So I just don't like the gimmick, but the tag team is very good. Next up, let's do the tag team of Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, a tag team that isn't really getting too many opportunities on the main roster shows like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, but they have been cooking on WWE Main Event. It's a shame because this is a tag team division that needs tag teams, and they are, alongside AlbaFireNadon, really the only two that actually have an identity as a tag team, as opposed to just being a hodgepodge of women being put together. It's a shame. They're actually a tremendous amount of fun. I'm going to put these two gals into the good category. They just need an opportunity on the actual main show like Raw and SmackDown. Hey, where's the gabagool? Because we're going to be talking about the family, yeah? We're going to be talking about the family. I don't know, dude. I can't do New York Italian accents. I'm Canadian, born in Colombia, all right? I can't be doing that. The family's great. I love these guys as the kingpins, no pun intended, of the NXT tag team division. I'm gonna be putting them into the great category. They've got a great gimmick. They're great in the ring. They clearly have a very strong, bright future. My only concern is that they're both very capable of being single superstars, and they could maybe at some point get separated. I really hope that they don't, because they're fantastic. But like, the truth is that Tony D'Angelo, he's got individual superstardom written all over him, sadly. Not necessarily sadly, like, that's good for him, but in terms of the identity of them as a tag team, I think eventually it's going to lead to a split. But as of right now, they're probably the best tag team that NXT has seen in a very long time. sticking with NXT, I'm going to put the Galish boys, the Coffee Brothers, into the good category. I like the fact that they bring this like strong style bruiserweight vision to the NXT tag team division. They are prime for main roster heel tag team stardom. I think they're going to do great when they eventually get called up. I don't think that they have much left to do in the world of NXT, so don't be surprised if Gallus as a group does get called up within the next 12 months. Moving next to the last NXT team that we have on here, and that would be Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, who are no longer going by Los Lotharios and are instead just their own individual selves, and they have really re-envisioned themselves as an awesome, brutal, vicious tag team, and they're gonna run the tag team division for a while. These guys are young, they're good looking, and they're going to absolutely be stars in NXT. Give them some time, and I think they're going to be stars on the main roster as well. I think a lot of people think of them as jobbers because of their time during the pandemic on Raw and SmackDown, but they weren't ready for that. They were only really being used because they didn't have enough people to pad out those shows because of the pandemic. So I'm going to be putting them into the good category. They have a lot of room to grow, but I see them as megastars. I really, really do. All right, so the last 4 teams remaining are all main roster teams. Let's start with Imperium. And Imperium as a tag team is starting to win me over. They were usually just the group that was following behind Gunther, but I think that they're starting to tell a really neat story with Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. They're kind of like brothers at odds. They're both just trying to win the praise from their daddy Gunther. But as a tag team, talent-wise, they've got it all. What they were missing is a identity beyond we're just Gunther's guys, and that's what they've actually been crafting here recently with this storyline of, again, them kind of being at odds, trying to gain Gunther's praise. And I do like that. I like the fact that they're finally getting some identity. I'm going to be putting Imperium into the great category. It's Fight Night. We got the Brawling Brutes. And when I'm talking about the Brawling Brutes as a tag team, I'm really talking about Butch and Ridge the Fridge, because Sheamus doesn't really partake in the tag team aspect of their group, and he's been injured for a while. So we're talking about Ridge the Fridge. I know I keep calling him Ridge the Fridge. If you don't know the meme, it's Ridge Holland. Anyways, moving on. Butch and Ridge Holland are going to be going into the good category for me. They've been doing a lot of great work, and they've been doing double duty over on NXT as well, which kind of tells me that, they don't really see Ridge Holland as being fully ready to carry things in the ring yet, which is why they're getting the extra work over down in NXT. Butch is great in the ring. He doesn't need any extra help, but Ridge definitely does. I like the fact that they're making him do double time and double duty on NXT. Our last 2 include the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions in Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And I don't even know where to begin here, because Chelsea Green is amazing. I love Chelsea Green. I like Piper Niven. I like what they've been doing together. But these gals aren't a tag team. They didn't even win the tag team titles together. That was Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Sonya Deville got injured, and then came Piper Niven and just took the title, and they just became a tag team. It's weird, man. And that's kind of just the story of the women's tag team divisions. You got none to do. Boom, tag team champions. And it sucks. And it really, really sucks. And as much as I do love them, I really don't think that they are the right people to be able to build a tag team division around, because again, they're just not a cohesive tag team, unlike AlbaFire and Nadon, for example. I think that they are better suited to build the tag team division around this. This isn't going to last, in my opinion. I do think that within the next couple of months, maybe even weeks, they're going to take the titles off of these gals. The other problem as well is that they're just constantly losing. They're just fodder for bigger stars. They just constantly lose to the Asukas, to the Becky Lynches, and to the Charlottes and Bianca Belairs of the world. They're just not treated as champions. So I'm sadly going to be as much as I love Chelsea Green, I'm putting this tag team into the meh category. And lastly here, I'm going to be wrapping things up with Alpha Academy, and I am going to be putting Alpha Academy into the great category. Tozawa isn't part of this. I have him in the picture, but really when I think of Alpha Academy as a tag team, I do think of Chad Gable and Otis. For a while there, they were kind of out of the tag team division as Chad Gable was pursuing that Intercontinental Championship, which eluded him sadly, but they seem to be entrenched back into this tag team division, and they are one of the cornerstones of the tag team division. Even though there's no titles on the line, at the very least, they they are charismatically a reason to watch the tag team division. And for that, we have to thank them, because there's no other reason to watch the tag team division aside from the characters and the in-ring work. We need titles for this division desperately. Please stop holding the titles on the main event scene with the same 5 guys on Monday Night Raw. Okay, I'm done. Get out of here.